Amid Russia's troop build-up near Ukraine and the West deployment in Eastern Europe, an intense week of diplomacy to ease the conflict has begun. And amid hectic parleys, US and the European Union held talks to discuss Europe's energy supply as tensions mount. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken hosted top EU diplomat Josep Borrell. Both leaders said that the United States and Europe remain unified on not only the nature of Russian threat to Ukraine, but the consequences that Russia would face if it invades Ukraine. Blinken said that the United States vows to do its utmost to help Europe deal with any potential energy disruptions.
We're working together right now to protect Europe's energy supply against supply shocks, including those that could result from further Russian aggression against Ukraine. We're talking with governments and major producers around the world about surging their production and distribution capacity. We're coordinating with our allies and partners, with energy sector stakeholders, including about how best to share energy reserves in the event that Russia turns off the spigot or initiates a conflict that disrupts the flow of gas through Ukraine.
Blinken's assurance comes as fears mount over Europe's energy supply being hit if Russia were to invade Ukraine and disruptions to natural gas exports in retaliation for sanctions. Now, according to Eurostat, about 43% of the natural gas consumed in EU comes from Russia. Experts say Western sanctions on Moscow would avoid directly targeting Russia's energy supplies, but Russia could withhold gas sent through pipelines crossing Ukraine. EU Foreign Policy Chief Josep Borrell warned that Europe is facing its most serious security threat since the Cold War. The bloc remains resolved to respond to any Russian aggression. He, however, stressed that there are diplomatic ways to ease the crisis.
We are living, to my understanding, the most dangerous moment for the security in Europe after the end of the Cold War. But at the same time, we believe that there is still room for diplomacy. There is still room for discussing, for knowing which are the concerns of everybody, also the Russian concerns, in order to avoid the worst. As to the current crisis around Ukraine, we have seen eye to eye our determination to give a united response to Russia's threats. This is our best asset. We have repeated our call to Russia to de-escalate. Our multi-layered diplomatic engagement will continue on various levels and in different formats.
Meanwhile, NATO is considering a long-term military posture in Eastern Europe to strengthen its defenses. NATO defense ministers are expected to discuss reinforcements in a meeting scheduled on February 16th. The West has urged Moscow to withdraw troops from Ukrainian border, especially if Russia wants to see fewer deployments in Eastern NATO ally states.
I reiterate today my invitation to Russia to sit down and to negotiate and talk in good faith. We are ready to discuss a wide range of issues, arms control, disarmament, transparency, and we have conveyed to Russia a document listing all the issues where we think it's possible to find a common ground. We're ready to listen to their concerns, and they should de-escalate and sit down with NATO and NATO allies and find a peaceful political way forward.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.